The Little League World Series champions from the south side of Chicago, the Jackie Robinson West team that was stripped of its title. There are many people who are saying that everybody does what they were accused of doing, including the team that accused them of doing it, it being using kids from outside of their district. So I don't have much experience in youth baseball. And I just figured I'd call up the guy who runs the Pony Baseball League that I know best here in town. He just also happens to be a guy who was nominated for an Emmy Award for Outstanding Guest Actor when he was on Glee back in 2010. Sports fans were introduced to him years ago when he was brilliant as the Rick in the great ESPN campaign. He also was fantastic as a psychotic in Justified. And he happens to also be the vice president of Wilshire Warriors Pony Baseball here in town. He's the actor and producer, Mike O'Malley. How are you, Mike?
Hey, Rich. Great talking to you, man.
Same to you, pal. So,
hey, so yes, we're getting geared up for youth baseball, and
yep.
You know, of course, I'm sorry to hear that this whole thing went down in Chicago. Incidentally, I think they're trying to make a movie about this. It's going to be a very different ending than they had beforehand.
Yeah, so what do you make of all this, Mike? Because there are many people who are saying, you know what, everybody does it, and these kids shouldn't be having their title stripped just because the adults did something that everybody else does. What are your thoughts on this, Mike O'Malley?
Well, I think that there is the reason that all these rules are in there, and people spend a lot of times at the national level with pony baseball. The basic difference between, pony is started in Pennsylvania, like Little League. It's different from Little League in that you start playing with full baseball rules at age 9. So, you're taking leads, drop third strike, all that other stuff. So that's basically the distinction between Little League and Pony. Mm-hmm. But there's many more. I'm sure someone's listening and saying there's a ton more differences.
Yeah, right.
But one of the main things that these national organizations do is they spend a heck of a lot of time trying to build community baseball teams. And they're aware that what happens is that you're trying to build a neighborhood team and you're trying to drive participation, and so you've got to limit the participation to just a certain area. You can liken it to say, okay, everyone knows the movie Hoosiers, right? Mm-hmm. The movie Hoosiers was about those kids from that high school. It wasn't Hoosiers and one really good kid from upstate.
Right.
And so what happens is that people are trying to have an all-star team that is representative from a certain area, and they're trying to prevent someone from saying, oh man, if we just had one more piece, we could go all the way. Then it's just like a national travel team. And so that's why these organizations really try to restrict where kids are coming from.
Mike O'Malley, actor, producer. He was also a producer with LeBron James on Survivor's Remorse. There's the show on Stars. We've been renewed for a second season. So do you think they should have stripped the title from these kids? Mike?
Well, I don't think that they necessarily should have stripped the title. It seems like what happened was that there was a guy who, I was reading an article where they got beat 42-3.
Yeah, right.
I don't know how you run the score up that bad. I mean, get a kid from maybe everyone was just a great pitcher on that team, but that's what happens. You go out and you beat someone up, and they're getting humiliated on the field, and it's a kid's sport. I don't know how they don't have a mercy rule in that game.
Right.
And then people get exercised about it. And this is the issue, is that's why there are rules, so that people just play by the rules, so they know when they won, they won. Is it true that, everyone does it? Not necessarily. There was a Pony All-Star tournament out here where somebody else knew that they put two kids on the team that didn't play in the rec league from that team. Mm-hmm. The kids got kicked out just this summer. So, yeah, it happens all the time that people don't follow the rules. But, we don't, in our league, want any of this stuff, so we go by the book all the time.
Yeah, Mike O'Malley, the vice president of the Wilshire Warriors, the mighty Wilshire Warriors, the Pony Baseball League here in town. So how often do you deal with crazy parents, Mike?
Well, it's interesting, Rich. I think that crazy parents is, everyone will say, look, the most important thing in life is being a good parent, family, friends. And so it's no surprise that when you see your kids and you're involved with your kids, that you want them to succeed and do great. Yeah. Most people are very well-intentioned. the craziness comes out when they feel as if someone else is usually trying to take advantage of them, or they remember the kinds of people who didn't play by the rules when they were the kids, and it starts to act out again. And I think that, it also boils down to just basically, it's like, look, you got kids. They don't want to brush their teeth before they go to school. They don't want to, wash their hands before they eat. And you as a parent, you're looking ahead. You're saying, oh, my God, if my kid doesn't brush his teeth, then he's going to go to school, and he's going to have bad breath, and he's going to be called Smelly Joe, and then, he's never going to get a date, and he'll never get married. He won't have kids. My DNA is going to die with him.
That is essentially, you boil down the parental experience. And
right.
I love it, man.
So think about it. So you think, okay, my kid, he doesn't get down on that ground ball. It goes through his leg. He's crying. He's off the team. There's a girl he likes. He sees him crying. She's like, why are you crying over a stupid baseball game? You got to get in the backyard and do more grounders right now. We're going to hit grounders now.
Mike O'Malley here on the show. Before I let you go, what's it like producing a show at LeBron? What's that like?
He's a fantastic partner. The show's called Survivor's Remorse. Some have likened it to a Entourage about sports. We're happy to take the comparison. Entourage was a great show. But the title Survivor's Remorse comes from what happens when you come from nothing. You suddenly have a tremendous amount of success. And how do you manage that? How do you navigate the world of media and mistakes and still hold on to who you are? LeBron has been tremendous. He's allowing us to do a real, pay cable, adult, grown-up show, and he's been a great executive producer on this. We're coming back for a second season. It's on Stars. You can watch it online. But, hey, Rich, tell everyone to go to Changing the Game Project. John O'Sullivan is a tremendous man who's trying to change the game in youth sports. He's a really smart guy. ChangingTheGameProject.org. Go check it out.
We'll do that, Mike. Thanks for calling in. We'll see you around the diamond.
Rich. Peace.
You bet. That's Mike O'Malley, actor, producer, and vice president of the Wilshire Warriors Pony Baseball.